Assalamualaikum. Greetings and blessings, everyone. Welcome to my channel, Thai by Addis with Empress. I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time to watch this channel. Please make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you are notified every time I post a video. Please like this video and leave a comment in it. It will help me tremendously to know what I can share more of. And any questions that you may have, I love to hear back from you guys. This video is going to be all about Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. So let's get into this video, all about the 13 months of sunshine, Addis Ababa, Ethiopia.
I don't know where we're going.
Okay, so when we first arrived into Ethiopia, we arrived at their national airport, Boli Airport. It was really nice. The entire family had came. It was during it was during the millennial, because the calendar in Ethiopia is different than the Gregorian calendar. It's on 13 months. So in 2008, it was actually 2000 in Ethiopia. So we got there for what was the millennial. So it was a huge celebration across the entire country. So when you came into the airport, they had like all these decorative things, the drums, you know, welcome to the millennial. It was just like a huge celebration. And I was super excited that I could bring the girls there during such a milestone in their life, because it was my daughter's 10th year here on this planet, her 10th birthday, and my baby girl's 6th year. And while we stayed in Addis Ababa, we didn't really do a lot, but there was a few things that we definitely made sure we did with the limited amount of money that we had, because that was during the time when the stock market crashed, and I hadn't gotten paid for like 2 months prior to me coming to Ethiopia, so I only had like $400 for the entire month during our stay. So one of the places that we did go to was the bathhouse, where they had these natural springs, which was really nice. So you came in, literally you paid to take a bath. Now, one of the tricky things is they charge 2 different prices, and they do it with no like issues or problems. There's the Farange, which is the foreigner's price, and the natives. So it was interesting, like when they saw us, they didn't know we weren't Ethiopians, so it would be me and my kids, and they would look at us. My baby girl, because of her locks and her features, they would look at her and they would and they would realize like, oh, are they Ethiopian? They would kind of question it. But when they would look at me and my other daughter, they, you know, it was like, okay, no problem. So we learned quickly when we were with our family to not say anything, just to keep very quiet and act like we're not listening to the conversation, so that we could pay the native prices and not the foreign prices. Because the thing is with them is, even if you are of Ethiopian descent, but you're born in America, they consider you a foreigner. So you can have both parents Ethiopian, and you bring your child over and they start talking to your kid in Amharic and all they speak is English, you're going to get charged the the American price, which was interesting. So they didn't really go on looks, they go on who speaks Amharic and who's born there. So we managed for the most part, after a few trial and error, not to pay the foreign price. So the bathhouse was really nice. You went in, it's spring water, you can drink it, you bathe in it. It comes from the natural hot springs. So it has like a healing property. That was amazing. All of us did the bath. It was a little much for Twabu. I think I remember she kind of was almost fainting. And then we went to the Lions Park. The Lions Park had all kinds of little monkeys and of course the lions, and Ethiopia is different. Like here you can't come anywhere near lions. People were petting the lions like they were pets, and that kind of freaked me and the girls out. We were like scared. I did at one time put my hands inside the lion's den to take a picture of the lion, and when he started charging towards me, I was like, ooh! I pulled my arm back with the camera, but I wanted to get a good picture of him. That was interesting. They were just like, come pet, and we were like, no way. And also there's the Addis Mercato, which is a great place. Mercato is an Italian word for market, and Addis Mercato is the largest open air market in Africa, I believe, which is nice. There's so many churches. Another thing is the churches. If you're a Christian, there is no abundance. There is no shortage of churches in Addis Ababa. One of the churches that we went to, I didn't go inside because there was some challenges with that, was, and forgive me because I know I'm boshing up these names, but I'm doing my best. Bole Medhain Alam Cathedral. It was like one of the newer churches. It was really beautiful. It was really kind of hard though because, you know, it was a lot of homeless people sleeping outside of the churches because they have like a large homeless population, and you know, oh my goodness, orphans. So that was kind of hard. And then, you know, there's no public bathrooms in Ethiopia, so that was another thing hard. So people had to use the bathroom out in the street. Like, it was nothing to walk down the street and see someone peeing or pooping outside of a church, which kind of freaked me out. But that was back in 2008. I heard things have changed since then because of all the infrastructures that they have brought in place and things that, and updates that they have. So I would like to come back and really see those changes. But when I was there, it was kind of really, still kind of rough and rugged. Another place you definitely have to go, and I'm so sad that when we were there, it was not together, is the palace where His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie resided, the Imperial Palace or the National Palace. When I was there, you couldn't even look at the palace. There, the Oromo police officers were guarding it, and they were like, don't look at it or they'll shoot you. It was really weird. Because not too long before we went, I think they had just came out of a civil war, so it was still a little disruptive. But since then, this latest president has totally renovated the National Palace. So if you go to Ethiopia, you have to go to the National Palace. Also the African Union, where I think the African Union is near the National Palace, and that's where the AU was created with all the African leaders. His Imperial Majesty did that to create a united States of Africa, and hopefully, God willing, inshallah, that will still occur, because if all those countries in Africa reunite, that's going to be a powerhouse. Another really popular place that you should definitely go is Mescal Square. Mescal Square is like the, I guess like the Kennedy Center area in Washington, D.C. It has like, you have your festivals. That's where they do protesting. It's like, oh, maybe it's more like Freedom Plaza. But Mescal Square is definitely a place you should visit. And the food, one of the things that was really nice about the food was a lot of stuff we got outside of our house. Like we had peppers, and I remember our cousin, she would lay like this mat out in front of the house and throw all the red peppers on the mat and let the sun dry it out, and then they would crush it up and then make Burberry and Shirtle and Minta. It was just really amazing. And then we would sit on our porch in the day, and we would take the lentils and the beans, and we would just sit and pluck out the rocks, separate the beans. You would literally sit there and you have it, and you would pick one bean at a time, and as you pick it, you would pick the rocks out and throw it out. So you're literally taking your time with the food. So it's not a lot of gluttony there. And the coffee, they have like a traditional coffee ceremony, because you're picking your coffee. So they create a ceremony behind making a cup of coffee, because you're picking your coffee, and the coffee grew right outside of our house. So we would pick our coffee beans, roast them. We would sit and roast them, and then after you roast them, and in a pot called something, what is it called? A jabena, something of that nature. It's like this brown coffee pot. One hand, you can put it on the fire, and you kind of stir the coffee in it. I still have not perfected making coffee in that pot, but those people who know how to make it, they make it so well. My girlfriend used to do coffee ceremonies for us all the time. And so, and then we also had like mint trees, so we would put mints in the coffee. So good. They will burn the incense and light the incense. And so between the roasting of the coffee, the incense, the brewing of it, and then you would do like it was like a pouring technique. Just amazing. My girlfriend in Ethiopia named Kiddis, we had the same name. She would do the coffee ceremony for us every day. And I used to love that, because it was a time for you to sit down and talk and gather. When you would go over your family's house, you would do the coffee ceremony, which was really cool. And the food, the injera, that's the country's food. That is that country's food, injera. But that's like a flatbread. It's made out of a flour that is indigenous only in Ethiopia, called teff. And they would just take teff and water, maybe a little bit of salt, I'm not sure, mix it and put it and pour it onto this flat pan, this big flat pan, like a pancake. But they would just cook it on one side, because it would cook on one side and bubble up and harden. And then you would lay this on your plate, put your food on top of it, and then that you would use it instead of like utensils. You would use this bread to pick up your food. So you have some of the shirtle, some lentils, some gomen, which is collard greens, and spinach, whatever your beets, potatoes, carrots, string beans, because we did the vegetarian, but usually mostly lentils and shirtle. And you would just eat it with bread. And Ethiopia is a communal eating country, so everyone ate together, but they also had manners in how you eat. You know, you only ate with your right hand. When you were taking your injera and putting in the food, you will only eat from your side. You don't put your fingers in your mouth. You know, they had a lot of rules in eating, because it is communal, and I really appreciate that. We stayed for about a month. We went to some really amazing restaurants, had some good nightlife, and it was just a really great time. I have more pictures, but I really can't find what I did with them. So I just thought I'd share a few of my pictures, and for those who are interested in going to Ethiopia, definitely do better than what I did, because I lost a whole lot of pictures. But it's okay, because I have this, and I hope a little bit of our trip gives you the excitement to maybe look into Ethiopia, because Ethiopia is really a beautiful country. I'm definitely looking to going back. I'm looking forward to going back. And yeah, and that's it. So I appreciate you taking the time watching this video, and make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and you have a blessed one.